Hot on the heels of yesterday's video outlining the Discord blowing up over removal of data mined information, we've now got a bit more clarification to add to that story. Also, the bots are still slapping us around, and I wanted to provide an explanation on a common viewer comment. We've also got some late-breaking stats coming in from Helldivers HQ, which are definitely impressive to say the least, so stay tuned for that one. If you want to support the channel, the easy and free way is to hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. And now, let's get stuck into all the latest from Helldivers. Okay then. Part of this video is going to be unscripted, part of it's going to be scripted in just a moment, but let's first turn to the galactic map. And yeah, we've lost 𝗬𝗏. At this point, we're into a full liberation campaign, sitting at 3%. That's a bit high. I'd like to see it down to 1.5, maybe 1. But at this point, a lot more manageable than what we were running up against as far as that defense campaign. So at this point, we've got just under 2 days to go to try to liberate 𝗬𝗏. We're also still just sitting at 2 of 8 successful campaigns versus the Illuminates. So not looking good on either of those fronts. We probably stand the best chance, though, of 𝗬𝗏, at least in my humble opinion at this point. But then again, like I said in yesterday's video, hindsight being 20/20, the savvy move would have been to go for the gambit on 𝗏𝗏. But yeah, I guess we go where the mob goes. That's where the DSS is, and currently we have the orbital blockade active there as well. Also, for those of you wanting to pick up a quick 15 medals, today's daily or personal order is to kill 5 hulks, which you should be able to pull off over on 𝗬𝗏. And of course, quickly consulting the Helldivers companion app, you can see 𝗬𝗏, the second from the top left up there, just under 47% liberated. We're actually losing percentage right now because we need more divers there, but you can see also the decay rate at 3% withdrawn in 18 hours, 54 minutes. So we stand a much better chance here on 𝗬𝗏 in the current situation of liberating it than we do with that massive defense campaign we were placed into. Other than that, you can see the squid campaign over there on Oasis not going well. Probably by the time this video posts, we'll be close to losing that as well. So overall, this major order is not going well on either front. But as always, leave me some feedback down in the comment section. Are you into this one at all? Did it just kind of lose juice, and did you lose the desire to play after what happened with that crazy liberation percentage and all that was going down at the end of last week? Definitely leave me some feedback on any and all of that. I want to see where the community lands on it. Featured again on today's thumbnail is this crazy 𝗚𝗏_CW4 armor with automatons trooper mod by 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, available over on Nexus Mods. And to be clear, this is a full reskin of the lightweight scout armor and helmet, so you look like a bot with a cape. Now, there's a lot of little details here that you would never notice unless you sit there and examine every square inch of this mod. Like, for example, there's even these crude weld marks on the sides of the bot helmet. I wished it was built on a slightly different armor passive chassis outside of Scout, but nevertheless, it's a really cool look and something different to look at while you commit bot-on-bot crime versus the automatons. As always, full credit to the mod author, and I will leave a link to this one down in the video description. Checking around the official Helldivers Discord, and I've got 2 pieces of news for you today. The first comes to us in the form of a question for community manager 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. It says, "Hey 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, any chance AH can confirm preliminary plans for late game progression? I understand AH generally wants to keep narrative things as a surprise, but I feel like progression could be teased without ruining anything narratively, as far as I could see. As a veteran player, there isn't much incentive to play besides the core gameplay still being fun. I'd love confirmation, maybe even estimated timelines for stuff like level cap increases," I know a lot of you asked about that out there, "or new prestige system, new ship upgrades, weapon armor customization if coming. Thanks for you and the team's hard work." And luckily for us, we did get an answer from 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, although it's a bit of a non-answer. He says, "Things are coming." I don't want to go too much into detail or promise too much because things can change and dates can move. And the worst thing I could do is to create expectations we don't live up to, but we know more late game progression is highly requested by our players. I hope this makes sense and doesn't feel like a nothing burger, but we are working towards things. Man, I know this is an awesome topic for my viewers and for chat because this is such a widely requested feature within the game. I've lost track of it because I've been playing Helldivers for so long, but I think you unlock everything in the game. Is it by level 25 or maybe 30? I think one of the exosuits was 30. I may be mistaken though, it's been so long. And from there, it's a grind up to 150 and you unlock nothing. There's nothing you can do past then other than earn medals, earn rec slips, and occasionally buy things within the war bond or the superstores. So this is highly requested by the community. I definitely want some feedback on this. Where do you see this going? How soon do you see this happening? And what do you think will be included in it? Any and all of that. Definitely leave me some feedback on that. But for now, let's move on to the next part, and this has to do with basically a follow-up to yesterday's video and everything that was said within the Armory channel and what was going on as far as the pens and the spreadsheets and the community statements made by the Baskinator. Now, I received comments in yesterday's video talking about how Arrowhead was banning people and that they were censoring people, and while I am completely against censoring and bans should only be used in extreme cases, I've got to say I think those comments were made without the benefit of some people knowing exactly what was going on. So as far as what I know, this is the way that it stands, and hopefully this is the definitive answer to everyone out there. Concerning the spreadsheets, there were no bans. Concerning the sharing of information on spreadsheets and talking about data mined information, there were no bans. Now, if people were getting banned out there because they were being asshats and douchebags, that's on them, but it had nothing to do with sharing around of spreadsheets. As the way it stands right now, you are allowed to use any of this data mined information, especially if you're using it from a source like the Helldivers companion app or the Helldivers wiki. You're also able to link in your own documents from outside third-party sources, etc., etc. Even link in your own spreadsheets that you've created as long as you cite those sources as unofficial. The only thing that I saw that is no longer going to be happening within that channel concerning those pinned spreadsheets is the fact that they are not going to be pinned anymore. And that is because Arrowhead cannot vet that information. They cannot stand behind the accuracy of the information. And by allowing it to be pinned in the channel, it shows that they assume that this is right and true. It is accurate, and they don't want that to happen. So that's what I saw. Next up, after yesterday's video, I received multiple comments asking what durable damage was because I mentioned it when I was talking about the value in the data mined information and how none of this is actually displayed in the game. Now here's just one example from yesterday's comment section coming to us from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that asks, can someone tell me what durable damage is? Is this related to limb health or is there a secret weapon durability I don't know about? And for the record, there were plenty more questions like this one. And to answer your question very quickly, Bunny Sash, yes, there is a secret weapon and enemy stat baked into the game mechanics, which I will now break down for you in easy to understand terms. First are our enemies, and many of Super Earth's nastiest foes have a durability stat attached to specific body parts, and it's often different throughout their bodies. Now, these targets also have different health pools for said body parts as well, but yeah, for right now, let's just stick to the subject of durability. For our example, I will use one that I'm sure everyone is familiar with, the Bile Spewer. We see them in mass on ICBM missions where they are a guaranteed spawn, and they appear in huge numbers, and we always seem to not have the right weapons to down them quickly, and we end up just dying to their acid spit. Most players aim for that glowing backside because they see the armor on the rest of their bodies and they shoot for what they see is the weak point. But Arrowhead has baked in a special stat on their butts, durability. Now for the Bile Spewers, this part of their body has a really high durability rating, sitting at 90. And keep that figure in the back of your head, because next we're going to hop over to the Helldiver weapons, and for our example, we're going to take the standard Liberator into this mission. Now, what players see in-game is a base damage rating of 70, along with a few other minor stats. But what is missing here is the Liberator's durable damage rating, which is 15. Again, it shows nowhere in the game. Helldivers math time. Who's ready for this one? Now, assuming we are within optimal range and not moving backwards, yes, that does make a difference, by the way, here's how this all breaks down. The butt of the 𝗏𝗆 has a rating of 90, which means that 90% of our damage against it from the Liberator while shooting it in the butt will come from our durable damage rating of just 15. 90% of 15 equals 13.5. Now, the other 10% of our damage will come from our base or ballistic damage rating on the Liberator, which is 70. 10% of 70 equals 7. Now, if you add those together, you've got 13.5 plus 7. That equals 21.5. And from there, Arrowhead actually rounds down to an even 21. So, for every shot we pop into the butt of a 𝗏𝗆 using the Liberator, we are potentially going to deal just 21 damage, which is a far cry from the 70 listed in the game. And when you take the health pool that the 𝗏𝗆 has on this part of its body of 750 HP, divide that by 21 damage per shot, and it equals a lot. Now, I know a lot's not a specific number, but it's actually 36 to be exact, but yeah, you get the picture. So, congratulations, you just blew through most of a magazine killing one of these things. And oh, by the way, here comes a train of like 6 of them, all overlapping, all running fast, spewing acid and just chasing after you and making life miserable. Also, in this case, it probably would have made more sense for you to whip out a medium armor penetration weapon, drop some rounds just straight into the 𝗏𝗆's head, which has no durability rating, and you'd be over much sooner than dumping all those rounds into its butt. And oh, by the way, we haven't even yet factored in armor penetration percentages, which thankfully does not apply to this portion of the 𝗏𝗆. Yeah. Anyways, here's where we get a bit of a caveat to durability and durable damage, and it comes in the form of explosives, because explosive damage completely ignores durability and deals full damage. Want to one-tap a 𝗏𝗆? Just hit it square on in its shiny butt with one grenade pistol round or even a single impact grenade and watch them pop. I'll include a link to John Spreadsheet's stat declassification unofficial stats. You've got to include that disclosure. But yeah, it breaks down everything into charts and graphs so you know what weapon does how much damage to which enemy. Make sure to leave me any feedback you have about this, or if you want a follow-up question answered about in-game mechanics, and I'll do my best to accommodate you with an answer. And one little final bit here, and I'm glad I held off on posting this video, but we just got some pretty impressive stats from the Helldivers 2 official Twitter account. It reads like this: how do you like those numbers, Helldivers? Through the galactic war, you've been crushing tyranny and spreading managed democracy with unrelenting firepower. Your dedication to the cause is nothing short of legendary. Keep exterminating threats, keep the bullets flying, and let's give them hell. Now, check these stats out. This is pretty revealing right here. 83 million deaths by squids. That means Helldivers have died to the squids 83 million times. 1.2 billion deaths by bots. 1.5 billion deaths by bugs. 280 billion total kills. That's a lot of killing. 1,500,000 bombs dropped. It also says, remember the creek down there. 275 million hugs delivered. Okay, up at the top right, I know it's a little bit smaller, but let me read it to you. It says 3.7 billion eagles deployed. Sweet liberty, my leg. 4.9 million friendly mine launcher kills. I could see that one. And 38.5 million deaths by friendly fire. And then over on the side it says, how'd you like those numbers? Those are definitely some impressive numbers. Damn, I love it when we see these kind of things coming out of Arrowhead. And this community is incredible. We do a lot of killing in this game in the name of managed democracy. And there you go, a veritable buffet of Helldivers content for you to discuss down in the comment section for today. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all of today's sources, can be found down in the video description. And until the next one, this is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏